What's going on, guys? Zach Allen here. In today's video, I'm going to show you one of my favorite strategies that I use to buy shoes without ever leaving the couch. What's going on, guys? Before we get started in today's video, I want to take note of a few things. First, the title of this video is how to flip shoes from eBay onto platforms like StockX and Goat. But the principles in this video can apply to buying off of any type of platform. So that can be buying off of Poshmark and flipping onto Macari, or buying off of Macari and flipping onto Goat, or buying off of eBay and flipping that shoe back onto eBay. The principles and criteria that I'm going to go over with apply to any of that. I'm just going to show specifically today buying a shoe off of eBay and flipping it onto either StockX or Goat. Okay. Second thing I want to take note of is, now I say I want to make $500 a month doing this. That's my minimum goal each month. Typically, I am flipping shoes anywhere from like $30 to $70 profit. But if I was on my minimum goal of $30 profit per shoe, $30 profit, $500 a month, we're looking at like 16 to 18 flips per month. Again, that's my minimum. I'm personally trying to double that every single month. Now, a few things about this is not the easiest technique in the world to do. It's a lot of searching. There's a lot of shoes and search results that we're gonna have to try to filter through, and 95+% of these search results are not going to be good for us. Okay, so it is going to be a lot of searching. So that's one thing to take note of. Now, when I do this, I typically do about 20 to 30 minutes at a time, and it's maybe 2 to 3 days a week. I actually love doing this when I'm at the gym doing cardio, because I hate doing cardio. So if I'm like on the Stairmaster, this is typically what I'm doing to get through that 20 minutes of cardio. 20, 30 minutes, maybe 2 to 3 times a week. That's all I'm doing. Okay. Now, first criteria, and I have this pulled on my phone, so I want to make sure that I hit all of my points. Okay. So first thing that I'm looking for is I'm looking for shoes and models that are not extremely popular. And I'm also staying away from new releases. I'll talk a little bit more of that in a second. Now, the type of shoes that I'm more interested in are going to be like Jordans, for example, Air Maxes. That's the type of shoe that I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm really looking for shoes that the market value is probably above $200, and I can buy for less than $150. But that's going to, each shoe, each listing that we look at is going to be a little bit different. So that's very loose criteria that I'm dealing with. Now, I'm not going to be looking for like mom and dad running shoes. But I know that there's obviously a market for that. My knowledge base is not in that, but you can definitely take the same criteria and apply that. Now, the first model that I'm going to search today is going to be the Jordan 7. All right, so here's our search results for Jordan 7. Now, a few reasons why I like searching Jordan 7. Again, as a Jordan model, Jordan 7s are not the most popular. Reason why I don't want to go after the most popular type of shoe, like a Jordan 1 or a Yeezy, is because these are not faked as often as those other two types of shoes. Now, there's definitely still going to be fakes out there, and there's certain things that we can do to kind of counteract that. Also, I'm going to be staying away from new releases. So if I see a Jordan 7 that was like released in 2019, I am probably going to stay away from that. The reason being is because the market value of that shoe is going to be a lot more volatile. I'm looking for shoes that are a little bit older, that people are not on here buying every single day. So I'm looking for shoes made or released around 2010 through 2016, maybe 2017, that are at least 2-3 years old and older. Okay, so search the models that you are already knowledgeable about. I am not the most knowledgeable on Jordan 7s, but I did search Jordan 7s I think last week. And so as I flip through the listings, I'm going to be able to say, okay, since I've already done this a little bit, I want to understand at least what the market on a new Jordan 7, like the hairs are, or the Olympics are, a little bit better than the previous week. So by doing this week in and week out, you're going to be able to go through the listings a lot smoother. Now, the two things I want to do from right here. We have 12,000 results. I'm not going through all 12,000. What I'm going to do is go over here on this left-hand side, and I'm going to scroll down these settings and filters, and I'm going to do two things. First thing is just for this video purpose. I don't always do this, but it is gonna bring the search results down a little bit, is I'm going to filter by new with box. So for this video, I'm going to say I'm going to flip these shoes onto StockX, because on StockX that it needs to have that box. If we're flipping onto Goat, then we can flip used shoes, or we can flip a new pair of shoes without the box. Now the second thing I'm going to do, this is the most important part. I'm still over here on this left hand side, and I'm going to scroll down to the buying format. So I'm going to come down right here to accepts offers, and so we're going to bring down our total list, our search results to from 7,000 down to 1,400. That's a lot easier to go through all these search results. Okay. Now, next thing I'm going to be doing is, these are 3 great pictures to look at right here. Okay. So when I say great pictures in this video, just know that the pictures are awful, but they're great for us. And the reason why they're great for us is because, like, this is just an awful picture. This is one of the best pictures for, like, that I look for, because anytime you have a, you can see my cursor right here. Anytime we find a pair of shoes that have like this front angle as the cover photo, and you can't see the side of the shoes like these other 2 pictures over here, and people may not know, exactly what the shoe looks like, or exactly what the colorway is, or anything like that. So this is a great shoe for us to go through. These other 2 are pretty bad listings, or good for us as well. If you notice, this listing over here on the left hand side does not have the name of the shoe, does not have color. It does have size 7 and does say boys, but it's missing a lot of information. Okay. This listing right here in the middle, I typically don't do too well with sponsored listings, but this is something I'm going to click on here in a second as well. So Jordan 7, at least it has the name, the Jordan 7 hair, and it has some color, but it's also missing some important detail. And the important detail that I'm looking at is this style ID code. It's another way to search a pair of shoes, either into eBay, or you can also search this in StockX and Goat. This is a very, very good listing. Not great pictures, but the listing, the title, the keywords are pretty good. I'm going to, for this video, I'm gonna look at these 2 listings first and kind of go through them. Now it looks like this listing, the first one I clicked on, has some text on it from a different app. And so obviously the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, I want to see what this says. They're too small. So these are, if you're reading that, it's a 9 out of 10 condition. It means that these are used. I'm going to skip over these because I'm trying to flip these shoes onto StockX right now. Okay, so I'm just going to already back out of this. I don't want to go any further. Let's click on this 3rd listing right here. We have the Jordan 7 Pure Platinum. All right, so we're in the listing right here. We have a size 11.5. These are the Jordan 7 Pure Platinum. Over here on the right-hand side, where my cursor's at, this is the first thing we want to do, and that is look at the seller feedback, seller metrics. So this person has 245 feedback, 100% positive. That's awesome for us. This does not, for me, need to be 100%. If it's like a 95, 98%, and then we would then go in and look at the negative feedback. If the negative feedback is something like seller canceled my order, or did not ship on time, something like that is something I'm okay with. Now, if this person is like 95% or so, and there's a feedback that says they sold fakes, that's where I'm 100% going to stay away and just move on with my day. Okay, so that's the first thing to look at. Price, we have $130 plus $11.90 shipping. Don't know about price yet. I don't know the market value of these off the top of my head. We're going to compare that here in a second to StockX. So the most important thing we're going to do is look through the pictures, and we want to make sure that, these are completely dead stock. So we're going to look through every single angle, make sure the soles of the shoe are good. Again, I'm not going through with as much detail as I normally would. I would be zooming in, but I want to try to speed up this video and get a lot of listings to look at for you guys. But these look good. Box right there looks like it might be a little dented. I don't know when the shoe was made, so I'm going to look at that in a second. Usually on an older pair of shoes, if a shoe is starting to yellow a little bit or has a little bit of box damage like that, StockX will be a little bit more lenient. Now, if these were brand new shoes, then they might be a little bit more stingy. Okay. So we have a size 11. Scroll down here, look at their description. Doesn't have much, basically the same as the title. Listed new with box, we have 11.5. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Jordan 7 Pure Platinum, or you can also take this Style ID, this 9-digit number. I'm actually going to copy and paste that into StockX. All right, guys, so I'm in StockX right now. We can see 11.5. Last sale was 166. There is a lowest ask of 150. I'm going to talk about why that's important in a second. Highest bid is 106. So when you're on the listing, obviously this is the exact same shoe. Make sure, because just make sure that you're on the correct listing. One way you can do that is double checking the Style ID, because you will notice that there are going to be shoes that have grade school sizes or some colorways that are very similar to other people. We can also see the release date, 2017. I was, would like to find something a little bit older, but 2017, still pretty good. Okay. Now, the shoe, let me go back and check. The shoe is listed for $130, $11 shipping. So it's listed for $141, and last sale is $166. So a few things we can do is look at previous sales. Okay. Now, first thing I'm looking at is over here, when these shoes were sold. So it looks like there's 5 in September, but there hasn't been any in October yet. Typically, again, this is one of my criteria, but this is a very loose criteria. It changes by shoe. I want to find something that sells at least like once a week. I want to find something that sells 4 times a month, maybe 12 times a month would be perfect. So this to me does not sell enough. And I specifically want to search in that shoe size, okay? Make sure you're on the correct size. So over here we have an 11.5. Make sure you're not on all the sizes, okay? Next thing we want to look at is the sale price, okay? So the market is pretty set. There is a few outliers down here, it looks like, but the market seems to be pretty set between 150, 166. Okay, so that's great. That's a good price for us. Now, let me look at the asks again. So we have 150 and 165. So I am not going to go after the shoe because of this low ask and because this shoe is not selling enough. Okay, because if I was to buy this shoe and sell it, I'm going to go over the numbers in a second. If I was to buy a shoe and sell it, like 150 to me is too low. I want to be able to list it between 160 and 165. Okay. Now, for the purpose of the video, let's imagine that this $150 offer is not there, and we want to match that next lowest asking price of 165. So this is what I would do. I'll go over here and click on the sell or ask button. Again, make sure you're on the men's and not the grade school or preschool sizes. Go over here to 11.5, and let's enter my ask at $165. Now, I'm not sure if you can see this on the right-hand side, but if I were to sell this at $165, my total payout would be $146. Okay. Now, again, when I do this, I'm looking for $30 profit. So my maximum purchase price on this pair of shoe would have to be $116. So that is where I would go over. Again, I'm not going to go after these shoes because they don't sell fast enough for me. But I'm going to go back over to this pair of shoe and say, okay, if I buy this for $116, what is my maximum offer price going to be? Now, so if we do the math, we do have that $11, $12 shipping. So my maximum offer would be like $105 on these pair of shoes. Okay. Now, this is the name of the game. This is why we clicked on accept offers in the filters at the beginning. I'm going to send an offer on this pair of shoe, and I would literally just send like a $90 offer. Okay. I don't think he's going to accept $90, but my hopes is that he's going to come way down off this $130 price. All right. So, if he counters at $120, I'll probably just decline and move on. This is a numbers game. Go through all of these listings. This is our first real listing that we've looked at. All right. And it's the top of the search results. I'll look through 50, 60 in like 10 minutes, and I'll try to send out like at least 10 offers in that time period, right? So it does not hurt for me to send a $90 offer. The worst thing that's going to happen is he's going to say no, right? Like, this is not like Facebook and OfferUp where like you have a picture attached to it, or like on Instagram where you have like an account attached to it. Like, they don't know anything about you. Worst thing they're going to do is say no. Now, what we want to happen or have happen is him come down to, maybe $115, and then we counter at $105. Again, that's maybe like our maximum purchase price, and maybe he accepts it, maybe he doesn't. Okay. Again, this is a numbers game. Don't get attached to it. the key of this is to create your own flip, okay? Because very, very rarely will you find a shoe that is significantly less on eBay than another platform. Now, there will be market differences platform to platform, and that's what we're taking advantage of. But like, there's usually not going to be a huge significant difference. Now, you will find one, I promise you, but it's not going to be on every single shoe. All right. Now, let's keep going. Kind of look at some of these listings. So we have Jordan 7 Hair, Jordan 7 4-inch blue. This is again the type of listing I love. Doesn't have any more information, but it has perfect enough information. So this is something that we would take, Jordan 7 French blue, size 11, plug it in StockX and look at it. I actually want to look at this one on the left of it because this one is jumping out to me. I may go back and look at this in a second. But right here we have Jordan 7 Hair, and DS stands for dead stock. And then it has a bunch of keywords that does not apply to this shoe. Cool. So Jordan 7 Hair, and this is, what is it? $170 plus $10 shipping. Over here on the right hand side, we have the good seller metrics, good seller feedback. Again, we need to go through all of the pictures, and I'm just going to scroll through very quickly. Box condition, another when you flip on the StockX, another thing you really need to take note of, still has the cardboard inserts. This looks like a good shoe. Ooh, even has the original Bugs Bunny retro card, Hair Jordan in it. That's sick. God, I want that. All right, next thing we need to do is scroll down, look at the description, see if he notes any flaws or anything like that, and it looks good. I mean, it's the same thing as comes with sales rate from Nike. Okay, so we have a size of 11.5 listed at 180. I'm going to take, again, this is Jordan 7 Hair, so I'm going to plug this into StockX. All right, so this looks like another great example. Anytime, again, the Jordan 7 Hair on eBay is listed at $180. Anytime we find the last sale price and the eBay price pretty close to each other or less, that's typically when I send an offer. This one, last sale, was $16 over, size 8. Lowest ask, this is perfect, okay? The lowest ask is a lot higher than that highest sale. That means that we can come in just under this person and potentially be the next sale. The highest bid looks pretty good as well. Like, I wish that was a little bit higher, maybe close to like 180, 190. But that's still, maybe we can get this person to increase their bid by coming in and being that next lowest ask. So again, look through the previous sales. We want to see, ooh, this is something to really take a look at. This is more of what I was looking for. Okay. So we can see this is sold 5 times in October, 3 times in September, just twice in August. So it still doesn't sell as quickly as I want it to. This is still a good example. We have, pretty consistent market. We have one all the way down at 160, but we have anywhere from 180 to 215, 216. So, I would feel comfortable to be able to sell this around maybe 210. Okay. And that's kind of in the middle of all that, right? So again, what I would do if I plan to sell this at 210, go ahead and hit that sell or ask button. Come down to 11.5, place our ask at 210. The total payout would be $185. So that, again, that's where I'm going to come back over to the original eBay listing, and my maximum purchase price is going to be $155. Okay, so we have 180 total. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to send this guy $125 offer. Okay, again, I'm trying to get him to come down, a lot off of this listing price. Okay, so I send that $125 offer. Okay, maybe he counters with 150. Then I can counter with like 135. And again, I'm trying to bring him in this game. Every dollar counts. I'm trying to bring him well off that number that he has in his head. All right, now, a few reasons why we're doing this. Typically when people have the make offer, like they may be a little bit like they want to sell a lot quicker, and that's what we're taking advantage of. We're taking advantage of these bad listings. This doesn't have the size in the listing, right? This is an okay picture. I don't think it's all that great, but it's an okay cover photo picture. But we're taking advantage of like these new inexperienced sellers or people that want to sell quickly. Okay, now I'm gonna go back in the search results, and I know I spent a lot of time on that. I do want to note one more thing before I move on, and that is when you are new to this, I would literally go into every single listing. I would look at this French blue size 11 and look at that in the StockX, right? I would literally go through just about every single listing. Now there's some, because we just saw the Jordan 7 here, there's another one right here. We already know that this $225 is probably going to be too high, but size does vary with price. Okay, now for the sake of the video, I'm going to fast forward until I find my next result. This is cool because we've already looked at three listings on the first like 4 or 5 results. So that's awesome. I'm going to keep going with this and see if I find anything else. And I'll also let you know, because I value your time here, I will let you know like how long it took me to find the next listing. All right, guys, I actually just scrolled down like 3 or 4 more lines, and I found this right here, and it's the Jordan 7 Orion. And I actually haven't gotten this listing yet. I just know the price is jumping off my head, or excuse me, jumping out to me right now. $100 plus 16 shipping. So we're looking at 116. Wow, another size 11.5. Okay, cool. Seller feedback looks good. Again, this is where we're going to go in and look at every single picture. Now, it does look like the soles are dirty. Yeah, that looks like it's probably a little dirty to me. I'm going to scroll down to the description, see if it says anything. Where's that? Oh, there it is. So, wore them 2 to 3 times. So, this is something I am passing on. But I know just off my, doing this previously, Jordan 7s, Orions this is typically a pretty good flip, especially with this price. So again, I'm going to move on and see what else I find. All right, guys, this is actually the very next line. Another Jordan 7 Orion. What size do we have? Size 7.5. Okay, cool. This is probably a pretty rare shoe. Box looks like it might be beat up a little bit. Yes and no. Some box damage. Probably a shoe that I may flip on the goat and kind of note that. Condition new, a damaged box. They look new to me, just quickly looking. Now, if you notice, the does not have a picture of the soles before I would send an offer. And again, I need to go check this price. I'm actually going to check this price on Goat in a second. Before I send an offer, though, I do want to see if he'll upload a picture of the soles. Okay, so I would just over here on the right-hand side, just hit contact seller. Most sellers are pretty cool with that, and they usually respond pretty quickly. All right, guys, I apologize about this. I actually have Goat pulled up on my phone. I just don't like the website. I don't like flipping through it. This is a shoe that I personally would send an offer on, but I would not suggest other people to do so. The reason why is because the last sold offer, or excuse me, the last sold size 7.5 was actually $275. So looking at this price of $150, like that looks great. But it does not look, when I looked at StockX quickly and looking at this, it's only selling just a few times a year. But this is something like, if I can sell this, like again, last sold price on Goat $275, and that was a little under a month ago. There is no active offers, but if this is a shoe that I can pick up for $100 to $120, like I'll send that offer and start at $100 and see what he comes down to. If I can get this around, $120, $125, this is a shoe that I'm fine sitting on if I can maybe flip it for like $220, $240, something like that. Again, like box is somewhat damaged, but it's not terrible. It's still something that I think it's still a shoe that I think people would absolutely love. Now the release date on this, and this is why like sometimes that box damage is acceptable, is this was made in 2011. Okay. All right. So I'm going to fast forward, and I'll let you know how long that took me to find the next one. I may move on from Jordan 7 and may look at a different model. All right, guys, back. Found my next listing. This is still a Jordan 7. This is Jordan 7 Hair again. This one's really exciting for me, and I'll go over that in a second. This probably took me another 30 seconds to a minute to find. This was actually on the second page of search results. Maybe like halfway down. So I know I'm actually kind of surprised at how many possible results that I've found. Again, this is a numbers game. Like, so send out all the offers. I'm personally fine if 90% of my offers are never accepted. I'm cool with that. All right. I only need maybe 2 or 3 maybe accepted every single time I do this. So, if I send 20 offers and two get accepted, like that's a perfect ratio. I can maybe make, $60 to $100 flipping 2 pairs of shoes, and that's perfect. So here's a great example. We have Jordan 7 Hair size 7, which is a kind of a rare size with this. The thing is, he's got 2 available, and we know we're on the best offer. So we're looking at $190, $198 a piece. But this is where I'm going to make a offer for 2 of them and try to bring his price down. Now, I've already brought up StockX size 7 for the hairs, and I see a few things that look promising. One, the last sale price is promising. It's pretty high. However, we're looking at almost like $100 increase, so I don't think I'm going to sell it for $340. Last sales, again, it's not selling enough, okay? It's just not. But I'm still going to send an offer because a few of the last sale prices were $244, $246. Okay, so, the size 7, it looks like in a dead stock condition might be pretty rare. Again, this shoe was released in 2015. And again, one of the reasons why I love going after these older shoes is because each year the number of dead stock pairs is decreasing, right? So in the year 2020, there's going to be even less size 7s that are dead stock. In the year 2025, there's going to be even fewer and fewer and so forth. So as we know, as supply diminishes, if demand stays where it's at, this price we're going to see is going to start to increase a little bit. Okay. Now let's say, again, this is not selling. I would not suggest going after this, but this is something where I have patience with, that I am okay sitting on for 1 to 3 months and making my money on it. Okay. Now, so over here, I do want to look at the bids. We do have one at 212. Ooh, we also have one at 211. So this is maybe perfect. So this gives us like an outlet. Like let's say we were to buy both. We have both of these bid prices right here that if something were to happen, or if we need to get our money back, or if we wanted a quick sell, we may have that opportunity. But again, I may want to sell these around 240. So let's see what our return would be if we sold these at 240. So we're looking at $212. That's right at the current bid price. Okay. And if we did sell these right at the current bid of $212, our total return would be $187. Okay. So if I wanted to play on the safe side, and I do for this pair of shoe because it's not selling that quickly. Now I would still try, if I were to buy these, I would still try to sell these at 240, but to cover myself, let's say that worst case scenario, I sold at 212. That means my maximum purchase price would have to be, $157. Okay. Now he's probably not going to, with shipping, he's probably not going to take an offer at $157, right? But because I want to offer on both of these, and because there's also a $211 bid, this is something where, I'm going to change this quantity to 2, and then I'm going to send the offer, and I may send it at like 130, right? Again, I want to get him down close to, because it has the shipping in it, I want to get him down to around 150. And I think that's going to be possible. He may not do it. He looks like because he had 10 total that he may be seasoned seller, or because he may have been sitting on these for a long time. He may want to move them pretty quickly, right? And that's what we want to take advantage of. All right, guys, I'm going to, maybe see if I can find 1 or 2 more for you. And I'm going to fast forward. I am going to switch up. I'm going to do, let me search Jordan 1 mid, and I may do like a Jordan 12 or a Jordan 6. All right, guys, I found my next result. I searched Jordan 1 mid, and the reason why, again, I'm doing mid instead of like a high is because, again, these are just not faked as often. And so again, I have 453 results. Again, remember I filtered by brand new with box, and I filtered by accepts offers. Now the one that jumped out with me is right here in the middle, this Jordan 1 mid equality. Now this, if I remember correctly, I believe this released in February of this year for Black History Month, because it was a shoe that I really wanted to get. It's listed at $120 plus best offer. We have a size 12. This is a very good listing, good description, good pictures. Like if you're selling on eBay, I would take note of this because this looks pretty dang good. Seller feedback looks excellent over here on the right hand side. I did already take a look at this, and this, even though it's listed up here that with new with box, it actually does not have the box, or it has it doesn't have the box lid. And so I am probably about 95% sure that this person, so right here, no lid on box, I'm like 95% this person probably bought this from the outlet, because that's typically how a lot of those clearance and back wall shoes come, is without the without the lid. But I have this pulled up on StockX already as well. So again, we're looking at size 12. And size 12 mid quality, last sale was $141. Now, again, I know I cannot sell this on, I know I cannot sell this on StockX, so I'm actually have this pulled up on Goat as well. And on Goat, it actually looks very promising. The lowest new price on Goat for size 12 is $180. Which is actually going to be higher than it is on StockX, which is cool. And also that listing on Goat has no lid. And if I look at the previous sales in a size 12, it looks like it's selling about 2 to 3 times a month. That's pretty good. I mean, again, wish it was better, but it's still pretty good. But the last sales are very promising. They're anywhere from $185 to $200. So this is definitely a shoe that I'm going to go after and try to flip it onto Goat. Now, even though I'm saying I want to flip this onto Goat, like I always plan multiple like exit strategies. So I'm gonna, if I were to buy the Jordan 1 mid quality from this eBay seller and list it on Goat, I'm also, I'm gonna list it back onto eBay. I may list it on eBay for 170. I may list it locally for like that same price, or I may list it on Mercari or Poshmark. Just because I'm planning to flip this on the Goat doesn't mean I have to. I can cross list it on every single platform. So again, it looks like it's selling around 180 on Goat. Maybe it goes 160 without the box. So, send him a $90 offer. Try to get it for $100, and maybe you make $45 to $50 off that, which is a 45-50% return on your investment on this. Okay. Now, another thing I want to make a note of, and I know this from previous experience, is one, this is a great shoe to always look for. Okay. Because if you notice on here, if I pull up all the sizes on StockX, look at the small sizes, the asking price, specifically size 8 through 9 or 8 through 9.5. Okay. Now size 8, I don't think it's really selling for $625, but look at that last sale price at $363. Like, that's pretty incredible. Look at the highest bid, $350. So this is, not every Jordan 1 acts this way, but a lot of the Jordan 1s that people are really like looking to buy, the smaller sizes, at least in men's sizes, tend to resell for a lot better. We can see that there's a drop off from size 9.5 to 10. That's over $100 on the asking price. And again, if you go from 10 to 11, all the way down to 13, like you're looking about another $100 drop. So this is a shoe that I would, just make a mental note of, and maybe I set up an alert on eBay where it sends like a message to my phone that says, hey, another Jordan 1 mid quality brand new was listed. Because what's going to happen, okay? Again, I said earlier that size 12, that eBay seller probably got that shoe from the Nike outlet. But let's say that, someone found in the back room of the Nike outlet that they had the box tops to it, or they had multiple in there that had, still had the lids to it. A lot of new sellers, a lot of inexperienced sellers may see that size 12 sale price of, closer to $150, $160, and they may automatically assume that it matches that size 8 or that size 9 or 9.5, etc. So if you have these notifications set up on your phone, because I have this for a lot of shoes and a lot of other products, is anytime a new listing comes up, people make mistakes, right? Like someone may list this size 8 shoe for, $180 instead of $350 or $360. And that's where you can just jump on and buy it right away. Again, I do this for a lot of pairs of shoes, especially if I'm looking for shoes for personal, for an absolute steal. And I also have this for other products and other parts of my business as well. So that's just a great takeaway to go with it. So let me see if I can find you maybe 1 or 2 more results to go through. I'm gonna go through Jordan 1 mids because again I was still on that first page. So again, I'm gonna go through the Jordan 1 mids and then I may look at one other model. All right, guys, I found my next possible flip, and this is gonna be the Jordan 8 Blaze. I'm gonna go over a few things. This took me about 4 to 5 minutes to find. I didn't find anything else in the Jordan 1 mids, which is kind of strange because that's usually, like, honestly, it's usually my best model to flip, and there's just nothing out there right now. I think I've flipped 3 Jordan 1 mids in the past maybe 2 weeks or so. So again, I usually do pretty good with that. I went through like the 2 pages. I didn't see anything that jumped out. I decided to search Jordan 8s. This was the top of the second page. Okay, so it did take me a few minutes to find. So first thing, seller metrics over here looks good. Now, one thing to note, this was made in 2007. All right, so I know, even though that this seller claims it's dead stock, and I haven't gone through this listing yet, even though the seller claims it's dead stock, you know, old shoes. I'm actually gonna come down here before I look at the pictures. Okay, this is exactly what I was looking for. Some yellowing due to age. All right, this shoe is 12, 13, almost 14 years old. I can't do math. This is 12 years, almost 13 years old. He looks like he's a good seller, but some yellowing. Now, again, I have bought old shoes years 2003 through 2010 off of StockX and Goat before, and I received them like yellowed. Like for example, I got old pair of I can't remember exactly what it was. Maybe I think it was the Jordan 11 Cool Grays or something like that. But the bottoms, the soles, you know, that were completely yellowed, but they were still dead stock, and that's what's going to happen when you buy these old pairs of shoes. Now you can definitely see the yellowing. Let's see if I can zoom in. So this is just something to take into account. Now this is something that I haven't looked at the price yet, but I have in my head that these sell for quite a bit more. So this is something that I would go after. Now, if you are not comfortable, and we can see some yellowing, it looks like right here on this strap where it says Air Jordan, like that doesn't look like a crispy white anymore. Down here in this little side panel, looks like there's some yellowing. Again, down here in this bottom left side panel and around this strap area, looks like there's some yellowing. So yeah, so this is something that I would go after. But you know, if you're not comfortable with it, that is fine. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this up on StockX, and here we are in StockX, and this looks good to me right here. All right, so we have last sale is $250. We have a high bid that is above the eBay price. That's always something to, you know, take note of. Okay, let's see, probably not. Ooh, sells a little bit more than I thought. Okay, maybe not so much. Actually, only a few times this year, but it, you know, 3 times in the past 5 weeks, it looks like. 220, 198, 250. Prices aren't everywhere, so this is not a shoe that I would suggest anybody else to buy, but this is probably still a shoe that I'm going to go after. Okay, highest sell price of 200. Again, what was that? He was asking 170, 178 with the shipping. So again, this is where I'm going to send that offer, and I'll send him an $120 offer because it has yellowing. And again, just because I was comparing that to StockX, maybe I relist this on eBay for 200 if I can get it for, you know, 130 or 140, or maybe I list it for like 220 or something like that. So yeah, that's how I do my eBay to StockX flips, and this is, again, principles apply to, you know, it doesn't matter where you buy these shoes from. Principles are still going to apply, and that's what I'm looking for. So quickly just running down like my criteria again. One, I'm staying away from extremely popular shoes that are often faked. I'm staying away from new releases because the market of those shoes on new releases are a little bit more volatile. Older shoes have more of a set market. Even they can be increasing and decreasing, but for the most part, they have that set market. The demand may not be as high, but you know, people that want to get rid of these shoes, they may want to sell quickly, and that's what we're taking advantage of. Okay. Always looking through any listing that has bad pictures, bad lighting, bad title, bad keywords, missing information. That's something that presents an opportunity for us to dive a little bit deeper and see, you know, if a seller made a mistake, then we can kind of take advantage of. Okay. Make sure to compare the sales velocity. So I was doing that on StockX. I was trying to see that how many times a month that is selling. You can do that on any single platform. And for me, I typically want to find something that sells once a week, 4, 5 to 10 times a month. But again, that's something I'm very loose with. Obviously, if I can make a lot more money, I'm fine if I hold it 1, 2, 3 months as opposed to 1 or 2 weeks. When you're going through your listings, make sure you're looking at the seller's feedback and its history, and making sure, most important thing is making sure that the seller has never sold a fake. And lastly, the best part about this, make sure you are filtering by accepts offers. You don't have to do that every single time, but that is the best hack, because I believe to actually do this and find a lot of shoes. And I just quickly, even though I talked forever, even though I just quickly went through some listings, I only looked at maybe like 10 to 12 in detail. This allows you to create your own flip and go in there. And again, every time I do this, like minimum amount of offers I'm sending is 20. Okay. I try to send like 30, 40, 50 every single time I do this. And again, maybe 2% or 5% ever get accepted. And when I say get accepted, like that initial offer is like never accepted. But, again, working to bring them down in price. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for you. If you do try this out, please drop down like a comment down below, because I would love to hear what, and you don't have to tell me like too much information, but I do want to know like what you guys are finding and what you guys are flipping. I will say some of my favorite flips in the past month or so I flipped, and I'll tell you if you want to search these yourself. Jordan 1 Suns, Jordan 1 Mid, the Suns, Phoenix Suns colorway, Jordan 5, like the fresh prints, like the new grapes that were released. I can't remember when those were released. Those have been one of my favorites. I've flipped a handful of those already. I actually have looked in the past few days. Not many listed for a good price, but that is something to keep an eye out. And one of my other favorite flips was the Jordan 7 Barcelona Nights. I've had good success with Barcelona Nights and Barcelona Days. If you guys want to take a look at that. But yeah, if you do find anything, let me know. And it doesn't have to obviously be on eBay. I would love to hear what you're finding, what you're flipping. That's all I got for you guys today. Peace.